scary headline about how cannabis use has gone up by 5 times in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
In The story says that on page 8 of the not page 8, page 12 of the Daily Nation, that the prevalence of severe substance abuse has increased, especially in youth among 20 in the age between 25 to 35 years. So 1 in every 14 youths is addicted to alcohol. 1 in every 33 youths is addicted to tobacco. 1 in every 71 is addicted to cat or mira, and 1 in every 83 youth is addicted to cannabis.
Mm-hmm. And also in one of the dailies, it seems that an addiction, drug is becoming such an addiction amongst the teens, and they are hooked to more than just one kind of drug. As Mariam has said, we've seen alcohol being used more by men than women. Also, weed, same by men than women. We've seen tobacco more being used by men than women, but the numbers are actually really going higher. On prescription drugs, it seems that women are using more drugs, more prescription drugs compared to men. That is 41,000 compared to 18,000 plus. And we have things like mugoka or mira or hat, as Mariam has said. We've seen women also using the drug a little bit more, but not more than men. We've seen multiple drugs. Even cocaine has been mentioned on the list, and it seems to be such a pandemic or a crisis that's coming to haunt us maybe in the near future.
I think one of the scary things, it was an increase of cannabis users by 90% in the last 5 years. So as far as alcohol as well, Nairobi had the highest rates of people using illicit alcohol or legal alcohol, while Western Nyanza province had the highest rates of people using, of course, illicit alcohol, changas, or traditionally brewed alcohol. Of course, there's also the rate of addiction amongst the people who do use these drugs. So about 42% of the people who currently drink alcohol were termed to be addicted to it. 38% of tobacco users were termed to be addicted to it. 22% of cat users were termed to be addicted, and 47% of cannabis users were termed to be addicted to it. So Nakada recommended that as a stopgap to make sure that the rate of alcohol and cannabis abuse does not continue going up, that we have more civic education on the dangers of drugs and alcohol, stricter regulation on alcohol, of course, content, to make sure that there are no cheap, potent liquors available, because of course I think it's easier to get addicted to something cheaper and potent as opposed to something that's a little bit better regulated. And for better like family networks and family frameworks, so that we have support systems that don't let people get into the habit of abusing alcohol as an escape. And we had this conversation yesterday, that a lot of times it's because there's no one to talk to or no one who you feel can hear you, the bottle becomes the next place.
Quite devastating to learn that, according to Nakada's principal researcher, Maurice Kamenderi, he said that the youngest age that Kenyans are introduced to tobacco is 6 years and 7 years for alcohol. So 6 years
that's very
tobacco
young.
and 7 years. So by the time you get to 15 years, you're already an addict. And of course, the numbers actually spike and they actually go higher, because we see 156,461 primary school children are currently abusing tobacco products. 127,124 are abusing alcohol, and 112,456 are using Mira, and 39,000 are already hooked to weed. And that's quite devastating. So we better start looking at our children, look at them start taking care of them as low as age 6, age 7. And it's in these things that we do in our houses, because now alcohol is closer home than even at the club, and the club is just right next door, and at the corner there's a liquor store. And I have a big cousin.
We need zoning laws, actually, because there's no reason why a school is next to a bar, is next to a hospital, is next to, a supermarket. Like, we need zoning laws. But I agree as well that the home is a place where we need to protect our young people.
I remember I was doing a short course right here in town. Ulikuwa first floor ni mali wanauza liquor, second floor ni klabu, alafu third floor ndio class.
Ndio shule.
By the time unafika huko juu, kama ulikuwa unatumia stairs.
One for the road, one for the stairs.
One for the stairs. Umekunywa, umepati, alafu unaingia class kama huko hiyo zone unasema.
That's unfortunate. Well, we've got
it's sad.
New music from Burna Boy's I Told Them album. It's called City Boys, coming your way. Of course, we'll come back, take a few more look at the headlines once more, and capture a few more stories, especially around education and varsity education in specific.
play it first. Banging out those new tracks loud.